Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing today? Excellent, excellent. Glad you're here this morning. Getting up early. I know I was struggling a bit myself this morning. Get a little coffee, get the energy and protons moving and going. As Steve just graciously gave a brief introduction of me this morning, he talked about this idea of discontent. He also mentioned just prior to that, the idea of leaning in, a little bit of aggressive listening. So I want to share with you just a little bit of what that means to me and sort of how my own personal desire to change the conversation, how it first started, and how it emanated into what you're participating in today, TEDxWDC 2012. For me, it first started in 1945. There was a woman by the name of Minerva Mitre, born in Panama. And a few years later, at the age of 8, she suffered two tragedies. Her mother, in front of her eyes, committed suicide. Just shortly after that, her father died in a tragic accident, alcohol-related. So just in that space of time, immediately in her life, there was a discontent because she was in a place where no individual would desire or want to be. Now, this woman, Minerva Mitre, is my mother. And as that being the DNA, the starting of where I am, before I was even born, sowed the seeds of, I want something different, I want something better. And as a result of that, she then met my father, African-American, military, prior to going to Vietnam, connected. And that was her opportunity, by the energy and the power of the universe, to take her as an immigrant from Panama to the United States of America. Because she wanted something better, something different for herself. Fast forward, I'm born, and I'm listening to these stories of growing up with my mother, growing up in the countryside of Panama, talking about how she would work in people's houses for $8 a month, and that it was her job, her desire for us to never have to be in that situation. She wanted to create something better, something different for her children. And my father, loving my mother as she did, shared those sentiments, those ideas, to do what it is that they must do to create something better, something different. And as years would go on, going to college and some of my own professional endeavors, those stories, those ideas that my mother talked about how she can do better, how she can create something different for herself, continue to weave itself in, inside, and out of my veins. Things that I saw, the things that I did, the people that I had conversations with. How do you do something better? How do you create something different to better the conditions that you're in, regardless of what endeavors you're doing, what ideas you're trying to put out into the world, the conversations you're having with your friends, your family, your colleagues, your coworkers? Then I had the great opportunity of connecting with my co-director, George Cook, around 2004, 2005. We actually met in Toronto at a conference called Risk Revolution, Creative Spaces plus Places, which talked about how do you create something better, something different for your city, to improve it, make it better, a place where happiness is able to take place, prosperity can happen, growth can be a goal for which people are driving for. Which brings us to where we are today. I imagine on some level, ladies and gentlemen, you're here because you are interested in something different, something better for where you're at and where you want to go. You're interested in changing that conversation, as Steve had mentioned earlier. Because you can't get different results if you continuously do the same things, as Einstein had said. So as you listen to the speakers today, each and every one of them, Peter Lamott, Gwydion, Philippa Hughes, all the wonderful folks who are going to be talking today, on some level, they had a strong interest in creating something different, something better. And that is the foundation for today's conversations, that we are interested in changing, because on some level, ladies and gentlemen, individuals here in Washington, D.C. and the metro area are not content with the kinds of conversations that are happening. They're saying to themselves, we want something better, we want something different. So I invite each and every one of you, as Steve had mentioned earlier, lean just a little bit forward in, get aggressive with your learning, get aggressive with your listening, get aggressive with your understanding of what people are saying and how you internalize that for yourself to create, on whatever level you decide you want to do it for yourself, to create something better, something different. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TEDx Washington, D.C. 2012, and enjoy the rest of the evening.